There are words God speaks that are meant to stay wrapped in silence. Not because they are small, but because they are sacred. In a noisy world where everyone feels entitled to your thoughts, your journey, and your story, God often teaches through restraint. Silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. What you protect has time to grow, and what you expose too early often withers before it ever blooms. God understands something most people learn the hard way: not everyone who listens truly hears, and not everyone who smiles truly supports. That is why discernment matters. When God tells you not to speak, it is never to isolate you, but to preserve you. Some things lose their power the moment they are explained. Some truths are meant to be lived, not discussed. The first thing God teaches you to guard is your future plans and dreams. When God plants a vision in your heart, it is still forming. It is fragile, unfinished, and deeply personal. Sharing it with the wrong people invites fear, doubt, and discouragement. Some will question your ability. Others will project their failures onto your hope. Their words may sound logical, but logic without faith can suffocate destiny. God often hides seeds in darkness so they can develop roots before facing the light. When the time is right, your life will announce the plan without you saying a word. The second thing God warns you about sharing freely is your inner battles and wounds. Vulnerability is holy, but only in safe places. Some people collect your pain not to help you heal, but to remind you of it later. God never intended your suffering to become a label. Healing requires space, patience, and gentleness. When wounds are still open, even well-meaning comments can deepen the hurt. God listens without judgment. He restores without gossip. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is the one you whisper when no one else is around. The third thing God calls you to keep private is your obedience and sacrifices. When you choose the harder path, forgive someone who never apologized, walk away from what felt familiar, or give when it costs you, that obedience carries spiritual weight. Announcing it can quietly shift the focus from God to self. True obedience doesn't need recognition. Heaven sees what humans overlook. God rewards faithfulness done in secret because it shapes your character, not your image. What you do for God is not a performance, it is a relationship. The fourth thing God never asks you to explain to everyone is your calling and purpose. A calling is confirmed by God, not validated by people. Explaining it too early invites misunderstanding and resistance. Not everyone has the eyes to see what God placed on you, and not everyone is meant to walk with you in every season. Even Jesus was doubted by those who thought they knew him best. When God calls you, preparation comes before recognition. Your assignment will become clear through action, not arguments. The fifth thing God teaches you to protect is your spiritual growth and revelations. Growth happens quietly. Transformation often looks ordinary from the outside. When you share every insight, every breakthrough, and every step forward, pride can slowly take root. God reveals truth in layers, and some layers are meant only for you. Maturity doesn't announce itself. It shows up in patience, humility, and peace. The deepest faith is often the quietest one. Here is the realization that shifts everything: silence can be obedience. Jesus answered many questions, but he also chose silence when words would have been wasted. You are not required to respond to every curiosity or defend every decision. Boundaries are not unloving, they are wise. God values what you protect. As you grow, you begin to notice a pattern. The moments you overshared, you felt exposed and drained. The moments you stayed quiet, you felt grounded and strong. That is discernment being built. God often does his most powerful work behind the scenes, where there is no applause, no pressure, and no comparison. There comes a turning point when you stop craving understanding from everyone and start trusting God completely. You realize that being misunderstood is sometimes part of being chosen. That privacy is not hiding, it is honoring the process. Some miracles require silence to survive, so guard what God entrusted to you. Protect the dreams, the healing, the obedience, and the growth he is forming in you. Let God complete his work before you announce it to the world. Because when the time is right, you won't need to explain anything. What God has done in you will speak louder than words ever could.